Okay, gonna do Combat Patrol painting Evil Sunz red for weapons. So this approach is very specifically for creating a redded effect on weapons. So as you can see here, I've got like silver with a red kind of wash on it, and I've also got the red paintwork on the metal as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to keep this nice and simple. Because I've only got the Combat Patrol paints, I'm going to be using Stormhost Silver to begin with. And I'm just going to focus on this gun. Now it might go on a bit streaky to begin with because I am thinning my paint out on my wet palette, which I'm not really worried about. So if I have to, I'll do 2 coats. Now, if you are doing push fit models and you're finding it hard to get behind things, then, you know, the good thing about push fit models, you can pop the arms off and just get them done like so. Nice and simple. Okay, now I do need to do all the other silver on this model. So basically anywhere that is red, effectively, anywhere that is metal, I will actually paint in this Stormhost Silver. And what we end up with, to put it as simply as possible, is this. And as you can see, I've gone over now. Anywhere that I've made a mistake and kind of painted the main model, I've just kind of re-highlighted, re-undercoated in a light grey. Now, next little phase is this crimson shade. One of the approaches that I've taken with my Evil Sunz is I've actually done a lot of pre-shading on them. So I'm not going to do that completely with this model, but for the most part, what I'm doing, and I'll do different videos for different parts, but like I've pre-shaded all the skin and things like that. But because I'm just focusing on the metalwork on this video, I shall just carry on with some Caribou Crimson. Now, I just think that as a colour, I absolutely love it. I think it looks great. And it just kind of adds a different colour. So it still keeps the like bright silver of the Stormhost Silver, but then it just kind of makes a metallic red. And I am going to keep a lot of this metallic red because I really love it as a colour. And basically, I'm going to do that to wherever I've got any silver. The only real exceptions are things like the teeth of the chainsword, because I want them to feel like they were never painted. It doesn't really make sense that they're made out of a particular colour because they're a moving part. But what I am doing is pretty much anywhere that I want to really look good, and going over with this Caribou Crimson. And as I said, I think it just as a colour, it looks absolutely great. Okay, now what you'll end up with is something like this. Now, if you notice, I haven't put the Caribou Crimson on the blade of the actual sword because I just don't think that really makes sense. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do that in a black ink, so no oil, and I'm going to apply lead belcher later on. But for now, we want to focus on the parts of the gun. So our next part is to get Mephiston Red. Now, don't get me wrong, you can actually buy Evil Sunz Scarlet, which is a really lovely paint, but it doesn't come with the Stormbringer Combat Patrol so far, so it's a bit of a problem that I've got, that I'm only trying to use the paints that are available with Combat Patrol. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint certain areas in Mephiston Red. But I don't want it everywhere. I don't want to feel like the whole thing is painted in this, just key areas. And that's just because I want to create just the right amount of red and not everywhere. And really, you've just got to decide in yourself how much you want to actually cover the gun up. But it'll look quite cool because then you've got that nice Caribou Crimson over silver. Then you've got the extreme red coming along. There we go. Right, and I'll basically do that wherever I feel it suits on the model. So depending on which model it is, sometimes I might do it on, like, say there, because that's quite a large area. So sometimes it might be nice to do it across there, or on this kind of back thing. I just think it's gonna look better. Now, what you can do on bits like this, if you want, is don't be too heavy on the painting, so you keep some of the silver on the edges to infer chipping. Like so. And what you'll end up with when you've made your kind of decisions about where you want your red and where you want your Caribou Crimson is something like this. Now, last little bit that you need to do just to kind of make it pop out and be more unique looking is highlighting. So you can probably, now personally, I think a highlight in something like Evil Sunz Scarlet would be far better than this squig orange colour, but because that's the colour that I've got available with Combat Patrol so far, I'm going to do it, and just very gently, that's all I'm going to do, is add my highlighting. Just on the edges. Just to kind of break it up a bit. like so. And it's just a slight highlight on the edges to break the colour pattern. Okay, last little thing that you can do is, if you feel that your red is too red all over the place and it looks a bit flat, is get yourself some Storm Host Silver again. Or if you want to go for a different colour, get something like Lead Belcher. And then just do a little bit of highlighting. And just basically catch certain little areas, just so that you're kind of breaking up the red. And there we go. That's all I'm doing basically. I'm just trying to keep it nice and simple because I don't have huge amounts of time, so unfortunately I can't spend ages doing my techniques. So at least doing it this way, add something a little different, and there we go. So that is how I'm doing my Evil Sun Red, and particularly the metal work for my Combat Patrol. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you for the next video.